Hello, today is 1/21 of 26, and I am here with a video of what I eat in a day on my keto journey. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I changed my diet to a high protein, moderate fat, low carb diet in April of 2024. It is currently just after midnight again, and I am cooking. So this is for me to eat later today, or I will refer to it as tomorrow because I still need to go to bed. I actually plan to make a couple of things, but I have a really busy day tomorrow. I have errands to run in the morning. We have a get together at 2, and then we have church after that, and then I have my son's hockey game after that. So I'm trying to get our food ready so that we can come home in between those things and just kind of heat it up. So the first thing that I'm making is a quiche. I'm making it with Italian sausage. I'm following the recipe almost, making some adjustments to fit my goals. And one of those is that I am not using a crust. It is a quiche that's supposed to have a coconut flour crust. I'm not using it. And that's actually not to meet my goals. It's just I'm too lazy to make a crust. I have my 9 by 9 baking dish that I'm going to use for this recipe. I've half sprayed it with some avocado oil. I have some cooked and crumbled Italian sausage, which if you follow my channel and watch the things that I make, I will often add seasoning to the meat when the recipe doesn't call for seasoning the meat that you cook and crumble first, because I believe in seasoning every layer. But this meat already has tons and tons of seasoning in it, so I don't need to do that. Okay, and I'm actually going to get this right into my dish here and get it spread out. And then I've got some roasted bell peppers, red bell peppers over here that I chopped up. It's a half cup of these. I'm going to get those on top and try not to make too big of a mess, which there goes all that liquid that I was trying to not make a mess with. But of course, I'm cooking, I've made a mess. All right, and then the recipe calls for 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. I'm actually going to use a half cup of mozzarella and a half cup of Parmesan because Parmesan has more protein in it. So for this layer, I need to put on about half of the cheese. Call that good. I also think I'll like the flavor of the Parmesan cheese in here too. Okay. And then I have my egg mixture. So the original recipe calls for 1 cup of heavy cream. I am using 1 cup of Fairlife 2% milk because I prioritize protein. It also calls for a third of a cup of ricotta. I'm actually using Good Culture cottage cheese. Really not because I have anything against ricotta, but just this is what I have available to me. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to get that in with my egg mixture. Oh, did I say there's also 3 eggs in here? And then the recipe calls for a third of a cup of sour cream, but I am going to use this Okios Pro plain Greek yogurt instead. I often will use this in place of sour cream, like in dishes, if I, top chili or something with it. So it's a good replacement that adds quite a bit of protein to my dish. Now, I mean, it's only a third of a cup, but still. All right, so I'm just going to get these. I might actually change to a whisk so that I can get these a little well blended in, a little better blended in. Okay, I decided to go with a fork because I thought that the cheese curds, like the cottage cheese, might just get kind of stuck in the middle of the whisk. Okay, so then I'm just going to pour this over the top. And then I will top it with the rest of my cheese. And I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I will let this bake for an hour, it says. So it does say if you were using the crust, it does say to cover the edges of the crust so that they don't burn. So the other thing that I want to make is chia pudding, and I made it, and I had it all in my camera and showed you how I made it, and then I realized that I hadn't pressed record. That's irritating. So I will link to this recipe in the description below, the original recipe that I based it off of. I made it just not too long ago. Here is my final result. I have made 3 servings of it, which is still, I mean, they are big servings, but I did make a couple of changes. So one is, instead of using the plain Okios Pro Greek yogurt that I used last time, I am using this Okios 000 blueberry yogurt. And the reason for that is just because I don't have enough of the plain yogurt to make it, which means that I used 3 of these containers, which is more than the recipe calls for, but I needed like 2.5 containers, and I don't want to eat this late. So I just added all 3 to the recipe. I'm leaving out the lemon just because I don't have any lemon. And I did not saute the blueberries. In the original recipe, you're supposed to saute the blueberries and then add them in. I did not do that because I feel like, well, I just don't want to. I don't want to take the time to do to do that. And the blueberries will like release their juices as it sits, and they thaw because they're frozen. As they thaw and like as I mix it. So I'm really like, I just feel like it's a step that isn't necessary. Maybe I'll eat it tomorrow and find out, hey, yeah, it really was necessary, and then I'll know. But I think it's going to be fine. I made this to pair with the quiche because I want to make sure that I'm getting enough protein in tomorrow. The last thing that I want to make tonight is a pizza crust. I intend to make a barbecue chicken pizza for lunch. So I want to get the crust ready now, and then we can just come home, stick the toppings on, and bake it. And it'll be, well, at least I hope it'll be good. I've got in my little blender here 1 cup of Good Culture cottage cheese and 2 eggs. I'm going to add to it 1/3 of a cup of my whey isolate protein powder. Now, the original recipe just calls for whey protein powder. I'm not sure how the isolate like might affect it, but it's what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm also going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And that quiche smells really, really good. For my last ingredient, I need 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. And then I'm just going to blend these until smooth. I'll probably end up scraping down the sides at some point. All right, I've got some batter here. I'm ready to get it into my pan, which the recipe says to place on parchment paper lined 9-inch baking sheets. I don't have those. It says to use 2 of them. I am using a 9 by 13 baking pan, and I hope this will work. We'll see what happens. I am all for experimenting in the kitchen. I kind of wonder if I might need 2 pans actually, since it calls for 2 9-inch round pans. I don't think so. I think that would be too thin. So I'll just put them all in one. Okay, so then this needs to bake in a 350-degree oven for some amount of time, 25 to 30 minutes. My quiche is out of the oven. It only baked for 50 minutes to get cooked through. It could be because of the pan that I used that it didn't quite take as long, but I'm glad that I checked it to make sure that it wasn't going over. Okay, so I'll be back, in several hours to let you know what it tastes like. You are supposed to allow it to rest for a bit before you cut into it. So if you were making it and just took it out of the oven, you want to let it rest for a bit before you slice into it. My pizza crust is done, and you can definitely tell like this is thicker than this over here, but like it's kind of bubbly, but there's nothing like soft under there. So I'm pretty sure that it is cooked through. Uh, it smells just like pizza crust. Like I've been like smelling it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that smells just like pizza crust. So that is fantastic. I will finish this up after I sleep. It is 9 a.m. and I am ready for my first meal of the day. So I had been not eating until like 11 or 12. Like my body just wasn't hungry. But the last few days, it's been hungry like first thing in the morning. So sometimes I think that my body like just understands that it needs a change. And so it does that. But it might just be like I am one to like kind of like I can't just do the exact same thing every single day. Like it would make me crazy. Like I couldn't eat the exact same meals every single day. Like I know some people can do and they really enjoy it. I just can't do it. So anyway, I'm eating earlier. I did decide to try my chia pudding, my blueberry chia pudding. It just sounded really good this morning. What I have in this bowl, I've already started eating it. I did fill the bowl up, but this is probably not even half a serving. Like it might be half a serving. That's how I'm going to log it in Chronometer, but it's definitely not a full serving. Those servings are big. Like they're intended to be a whole meal. Okay, and it's very good. I am enjoying it a lot. I like the burst of the blueberries, like, when you get one and it kind of bursts. Oh, it's really good. And then I'm having my coffee, which I made with 1 cup of Fairlife 2% milk, a serving of whey isolate protein powder, a serving of collagen peptides, and a tablespoon of MCT oil, along with my donut, which is from Conscious Comforts, a local bakery in my area that makes gluten-free, sugar-free donuts. I have my pizza crust here. So you're supposed to take it out, let it rest for 10 minutes, and then flip it over. So obviously, I have let it rest longer than that because I did this late last night, and then put it on a baking sheet. So that's what I have done. I am making half barbecue chicken and half pepperoni. Oops, no, this is the way I want to do it. Half pepperoni because I want barbecue chicken and my daughter wants pepperoni. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using some boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I had cooked up earlier and had in my refrigerator. So this makes 4 servings. I have some more chicken here that I'm going to also eat on the side to make sure I'm getting the protein in that I need. And this is actually not pizza sauce. It is a pasta sauce. It's Simply Nature tomato basil sauce because I have it open. And so I'd rather use this than open a can of pizza sauce, especially because I'm not going to need like the whole can. And then on my chicken side, I want to add some red onion. So normally I would like dice up some red onion, but I don't have any and I didn't want to go to the store. I mean, I know I said that I ran a lot of errands today, and one of those errands was to go to the store, but I didn't like get the order in uh, with my like a red onion added to it in time. So I'm just gonna do this, and I didn't want to run inside. It's been a crazy morning, like a crazy morning. We woke up to our dishwasher leaking into our basement. And so, and then what's it called? The shutoff valve for the dishwasher was broken. And so it just left it on. And so so we had to, which means the leak just continued. So then we had to like shut off water to the whole house. And it's been a day. Okay. And then I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese to both sides of this. And then for my side, I'm using G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce. This is maple brown sugar. And I am going to kind of, like I would have liked to have say like put it in a little bag and snip the corner to kind of like drizzle it on. But that's a lot of work. So I'll just kind of do this. And then I need pepperoni. I am using this Hormel pepperoni, 25% less fat, just because I prefer the less fat version. Like it's more, to me, it's more like real meat. Okay, I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees. Once that's to temp, I will get this in for, the recipe says 10 to 12 minutes, just until like the cheese is melty and bubbly. Here is my pizza. Let's give this a try. I'm going to try a bite of just the crust first. That's good. Like it definitely tastes like pizza crust. You can tell the whey protein is in there because it's a little dry, but like the flavor is really good and it could totally be a pizza crust. Okay, I'm actually going to try and eat it like you would a regular piece of pizza. Yeah, that holds together nicely. I'm not really liking the barbecue sauce. Um, it's a bit sweet and I don't know, like a fake sweet flavoring to it. It's not my favorite on here. I wish I had a different barbecue sauce, but the crust itself holds together nicely. I can eat it like a piece of pizza. I'm actually going to try a little bit of the pepperoni. Oh, yeah, that's pizza. It is 5 o'clock and I am ready to try my quiche. The flavor's not, it's too much cheese for me, I think. Honestly, I think that is the thing that I don't like about it. The flavor is fine. Yeah, I think it's too much cheese for me, which I know for a lot of people that sounds crazy. But yeah, I don't think it's for me. I'm gonna try another bite. Yeah, I'm not loving that. I think it can be really like I think my kids will really enjoy it. They really like cheese, right? But for me, it's too much cheese.